Hey guys, VorTX 3735 Nikhil here. This is going to be our second video. It's going to be talking about our drill press that we use. It's just a safety demonstration and kind of talking about some of the things to make sure we get accurate holes drilled, as is super important in our machine. So first, we're just going to look at the drill press itself and some of the few things that I didn't know. So this right here is the on-off switch. Whenever you drill, you're going to want two people to have for that. It's just a simple on-off. So yeah. This right here, this is a thing that you pull down so the drill press goes up and down. Let me just move the light. So anytime you want to drill down, you just got to keep pulling this. So it's kind of tricky because if you're only doing one hand and you want to switch, you might want to have two hands for it just to be safe. So be careful with that when making deep cuts. So another thing about the drill press is that the table moves like this. So whenever you line up your table, you always want to make sure it's at the right height, whether it be high or low. And then anytime it's at the right height, you want to tighten it so it doesn't move. A lot of times with our holes, the table will be loose and it'll jiggle out of place, so that can be an issue. The next thing we want to look at is our clamps and our vise. So when we drill, we want to make sure our material is in a vise, clamped onto the table. This will reduce the amount of air we have by shaking and flying off. Because if you just walked up and hold something and drill it, chances are it would fly off everywhere, and that is very dangerous, as it is most likely hot and competitive. As I'm talking about it, we also want to make sure we're not wearing any long hoodies or long clothing, hair is tied back, we have safety glasses, nice to have long pants and closed-toe shoes. Those are just kind of musts that we always have to have. So now we're going to talk about the procedure of drilling something. So you have your material, you took your calipers and you marked it off at the right length. The next step that we want to make sure we do is we either center punch it in the right spot, or we get a centering bit and we do the whole process of drilling, but with the bit to center it as a center punch bit. So what we do, we put it in the vise, close it up. Important to note where the table is and where the vise is. If you're going to make a cut all the way through the material, you don't want to drill into the table or into the vise, as you know, that's like destruction of our stuff. It's not really good, so we're going to avoid that. So that's nice and secure. Now what we're going to want to take our chuck, or no, this is the key and this is the chuck. So anytime you put a drill bit in the drill press, you kind of hand tighten it, and you might think it's tight, but you have to use the key to tighten the chuck, or else when you start drilling, it could fall out. So now the chuck is nice and tight, you can drill with this, and it'll go in perfect. So now you can see our drill bit is not lined up, so we're going to have to move our clamps, and most likely move the table. Clamp that down. So this is not going to move, right? The table's not going to move. So we have our center punch, we have our drill. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug it in, because it shouldn't be plugged in yet, because we don't need drills plugged in. We're going to plug it in, make sure everything's clear, double check our hair, make sure and this is where we have a second person come in. So because I'm using two hands for this, we're going to want one person to always be on the on-off switch, just in case something goes wrong or something gets hot. Immediately turn it off, that way reduce the amount of air of stuff flying apart. So everything's ready. I'm just going to do a small hole in this material. So yeah, here we go.
Ready?
Yeah. Awesome. So that was a great hole that we just did. We practiced good techniques. An important thing to note is when cutting a lot of material in a row or stuff that's going to be really thick and require a long time with the press, you might want to use like cutting fluid or drilling fluid just to kind of lubricate it and help it. Also, when you drill, you don't want to push super hard and shove it in there and try to get it as fast as you can. You don't want to do that. You want to go nice and slow and let the drill bit do all the work. Cut it, take your time. A cleaner cut is going to save you more time than having to recut it because you did it wrong. So one of the last things when you have your material drilled is you always want to take a deburring tool and you want to deburr it. This just kind of lessens the sharpness of the hole, and you're less likely to cut yourself or other people cut themselves on your work. So that's just a nice habit to get into after drilling. I think that's it. I think that's all the procedure stuff we do. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.